Christopher Nolan's latest movie, Oppenheimer, is all about the life of J. Robert Oppenheimer, his journey to create the nuclear weapon, and the aftermath of it all. This sensational film draws inspiration from the biography American Prometheus and digs into Oppenheimer's involvement with the bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Cillian Murphy majestically plays the role of Oppenheimer and did a lot of research, and even lost weight to get into character. This is their 6th time collaborating. The movie mainly focuses on a few years of Oppenheimer's life, exploring science, politics, and his romantic relationships. It's based on true facts, but the director also took some creative liberties and added a touch of fiction. In this video, we're going to take a look at which things are actually facts and which are fictions. In addition to that, we will also discuss the use of the Bhagavad Gita and the enigmatic painting in the movie. So let's start with some facts first. Back in his Cambridge days, Oppenheimer had a rough time with his tutor, Patrick Blanket, and tried to play a prank on him by poisoning his apple. The movie portrays Niels Bohr's involvement, but this part is fictional. The actual outcome was that Cambridge officials decided not to press charges, and Oppenheimer had to see a psychiatrist while being on probation. After arriving at Leiden, Holland, Oppenheimer gave a lecture in Dutch just 6 weeks later, which was appreciated, although not perfect. There's a mention of a brief relationship with the woman who might have helped him learn Dutch, but there's speculation that he might have already been learning the language during his time recovering from tuberculosis in New Mexico. Not only that, according to American Prometheus in 1941, Robert and Kitty Oppenheimer left their son, Peter, with Hakon and Barbara Chevalier for a couple of months at their ranch in New Mexico. The movie suggests this decision was influenced by Kitty's drinking, but it's not entirely accurate. The movie also shows Oppenheimer being informed by Niels Bohr about a 1941 meeting with German physicist Werner Heisenberg, which led to Oppenheimer to conclude that Germany was behind the Americans in the atomic bomb development. However, the Allies only found definitive proof of Germany's early-stage development in November 1944. Fast forward to the Senate hearing, we see Oppenheimer's comment about isotopes that they were less important than vitamins, somewhere in between, but it got laughs. The film depicts his mocking Strauss over isotopes, but the actual incident was different. But there are some totally unchanged scenarios shown in the film as well, which serves as some wonderful lesser-known trivia. For instance, the Trinity test where the first atomic bomb was detonated was delayed by a big thunderstorm for about an hour and a half, but it eventually passed, allowing the test to proceed. Also, Feynman did indeed watch the Trinity test from behind a windshield to protect himself from radiation, while others used dark glasses. In the film, Strauss claims that Oppenheimer never expressed regret for dropping the atomic bomb, which is true, but there's a suggestion that someone else could have made that claim, as Oppenheimer's portrayal in the movie might not be entirely accurate. Although he didn't regret dropping the bomb, he did feel remorse for not being able to prevent the arms race and tried to mitigate its consequences. Oppenheimer was quite the character, known for his wide-ranging interests. He had a knack for jumping between different topics, tailoring his discussions to his students' interests. Some of his fellow individuals, like Groves in the movie, thought he was a dilettante and incapable of handling complex projects like the Los Alamos lab. However, despite these criticisms, Oppenheimer made significant contributions to theoretical physics at the University of California, Berkeley. His legacy extended beyond his own research, as he mentored several notable students who went on to make important contributions in the field, such as David Bohm, Philip Morrison, and Willis Lamb. One of Oppenheimer's notable collaborations was with his student, Hartland Snyder, and together they published an influential paper about heavy stars running out of fuel and collapsing. This happened on the same day that Hitler invaded Poland. Their paper delved into the concept of black holes, a topic that wasn't widely accepted in the scientific community at the time. Although their work was important, Oppenheimer didn't pursue further research on the subject. Other scientists like John Wheeler, who later popularized the term black hole, initially found the concept strange and opposed it in the 1950s. It wasn't until 1964 when Roger Penrose described black holes and received the Nobel Prize in 2020 for his work. Interestingly, Penrose credited Oppenheimer and Snyder's paper as one of his inspirations in studying black holes. Now let's talk about some creative liberties the director took in the film. During the Trinity test, there was a desert explosion that caused widespread effects, blowing out windows in nearby cities and visible from a staggering 280 miles away. The government attributed this to a non-harmful ammunition magazine explosion. The decision to use the atomic bomb in World War II was seen as a calculated risk to end the war swiftly, though some later tried to justify it as a way to avoid a full-scale invasion of Japan. Stimson made a complex decision to spare Kyoto due to its cultural significance and personal connections, but this had significant consequences for the other bombed cities. Oppenheimer faced marginalization for expressing concern about the long-term implications of nuclear weapons. Contrary to the movie's portrayal of him as a lone wolf, other high-level government officials, including Stimson, shared similar concerns and conveyed them to President Truman. When it came to consulting about Teller's calculations, Oppenheimer turned to Compton, not Einstein. Beta's calculations suggested a near-zero possibility of a catastrophic event, and Fermi even bet on Teller's theory before the Trinity test. Oppenheimer initially opposed the development of the H-bomb, but eventually came to support it. His reservations were related to limited resources for weapons development, but when Teller and Ulam made a breakthrough, he became enthusiastic about the H-bomb project. In the movie, Charlotte Serber is depicted as Oppenheimer's secretary, but in reality she worked as a librarian at Los Alamos' secret library. While she briefly assisted Oppenheimer's secretary, she later managed the library and classified files with a staff of 12. Oppenheimer raised concerns about her political learnings to security officials, adding complexity to his character. Lastly, just like actor Cillian Murphy, who gained attention for his role preparation in India, Oppenheimer was deeply influenced by the Hindu sacred book Bhagavad Gita. He not only memorized and understood its core values, but also kept a copy on his work desk and even gifted English-translated versions to colleagues and friends. He even learned Sanskrit to read the Gita in its original language. After the successful atomic bomb test, he famously quoted Lord Krishna's words, "Now I have become death, the destroyer of worlds." So Oppenheimer, the physicist guy, was really into the Bhagavad Gita teachings. He loved it so much that he kept a copy of the book near his bed and even learned Sanskrit in 1933 to read the original text. He called the Gita the most beautiful philosophical song in any language ever and considered it one of the 10 books that shaped his life. There's this history professor named James A. Higia who wrote a book called The Gita of J. Robert Oppenheimer, and he compared Oppenheimer to Arjuna from the Mahabharata. In the book, he says that just like Krishna's message to Arjuna was to fight, Oppenheimer felt the same way. He thought that if it was okay for Arjuna to kill his friends and relatives over a kingdom, then it couldn't be wrong for him to build a weapon to take down the Germans and Japanese during the war. Oppenheimer knew they needed the atomic bomb to defeat the Nazis, but he also realized that it was a super dangerous weapon that could destroy everything. When they successfully tested the atomic bomb in the Trinity test in 1945, Oppenheimer quoted the Bhagavad Gita. In an interview with Newsweek a long time ago, he talked about the test and said, "I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture." Oppenheimer was a fascinating and complex character, deeply engrossed in the world of atomic particles and wave particles. This complexity was mirrored in a painting that captured the inner conflicts within him. Interestingly, Picasso, renowned for his impactful work Guernica, also portrayed Oppenheimer, highlighting his efforts to assist those affected by war. Because of his significant role in successfully detonating the atomic bomb, Oppenheimer earned the title Father of the Atomic Bomb. Nolan's film features an image that evokes memories of Picasso's painting, serving as a reminder of the profound impact of nuclear bombs on humanity. The filmmaker is known for his interpretation of paintings and in Fémici au bras croisés. We glimpse into the possible life of a scientist. The painting illustrates the destructive power akin to the fragmented pieces of life depicted in Cubist art, where light is broken down repeatedly into different fragments, much like the nature of Cubism itself. So was Oppenheimer's quote about the Bhagavad Gita truly about its meaning, or was it a mere representation of his emotions at that moment? How does art serve as a powerful medium to express complex ideas and emotions, blurring the lines between fact and fiction? We encourage you to share your thoughts and insights in the comments below, and if you found this video enlightening, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.